Back at Understanding the Times 2018 here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, late September. And have another of my speakers with me for the next few minutes, Pastor Billy Crone. He's Sunrise Bible Church in Las Vegas. And Pastor Billy, it's been wonderful getting to know you in the last couple of years. And, you know, I'd talk about one of your you have so many specialties, I can't zero in on one. That's what makes you so unique.
Well, that certainly is the Lord, and He's given me a passion for research and certainly His Word, and it never stops. It's so hard to stay caught up because so many things are happening prophetically in our generation, but we're trying to do our best to keep up.
Well, we were talking about that, and I had asked another of my speakers, and 2018's winding down, and what in his mind was the most stunning event of 2018, and he gave me his very educated opinion. So I'll ask you the same thing. I mean, we've got breaking news literally every few minutes. That's stunning.
Yeah.
What stands out the most to you?
Well, what really stands out to me, again, is the convergence factor. If everybody's staying on top of it, that's what gets so challenging to present the information, because it's not just so much is happening simultaneously from so many different angles, whether it's one world government, whether it's big brother issues, whether it's a one world economy, a cashless society, the technology for the mark of the beast system, whether it be the push for a global religion, what's going on with the Vatican, with all that going on, what's going on in our own government, and the apostasy of the church. Boy, that's all over the place. But it's all those things happening all at the same time, nonstop, and if anything, it's escalating.
The thing I think you've made me aware of in the last year, and quite frankly, I was moderately tuned into it, and then I watched you present in Pastor JD's pulpit in Hawaii, and you talked about artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
And I had you on air for a two-part series on radio. The disadvantage of radio is I can't be visual.
Yeah.
We did the best we could, and I'll tell you, it sparked my audience got really curious. Even though we're not visual on radio, still what we had to share really sparked their curiosity. They were not tuned in to what artificial intelligence, how it's advancing. And I think what we tried to present is how this is going to be handed over someday to administration that will not be benevolent. You want to explain that?
Yeah, well, I really think that when you understand what's going on with artificial intelligence, I'll use the word, it's a global invasion of this technology. And I keep reminding people every time I have an opportunity to talk about it, share it, is artificial intelligence is not coming. Artificial intelligence is not even now even here. Artificial intelligence has been here for quite some time. Most people don't know it, and it's permeating literally every aspect of society. It could be from military to medical to finances, personal convenience that's being sold. You know, it's going to be the new wave of personal convenience. It'll do everything for you. It's your companion. It's your bodyguard. It'll be your new police force, and it is happening before our very eyes. And and I've shared this stat before on a program with you, Jen. 63% of people right now don't even realize that they're already using things that involve artificial intelligence, including social media.
Well, this Elon Musk, we keep quoting him. He's a technology guy. Says this is more dangerous than nuclear weapons. He uses our terms. He says, if we're going to play around with this, we're summoning up demons. What do you think he meant when he said we're summoning up demons?
Well, if you look at that interview, and Lord willing, if I don't have to, for the sake of time, cut it, I have it, that actual interview, a little bit more fuller than what beyond just the summoning up the demon quote.
Yeah, I know it's more extensive, yes.
Yeah, and but you look at the context, what he's really talking about is summoning up the demon. It's a nightmare scenario that you can't control. He used the analogy of The Exorcist. They thought they were going to control it, but they didn't. Of course, that was a movie. But he used that as a segue to basically then talk about the Terminator scenario.
Yeah.
And that's his nightmare demonic scenario that he's saying, yeah, that's a science fiction movie. He says basically, in essence, it's about to become our reality. In fact, what I'll, Lord willing, possibly be sharing, if I can get that far, is the video clip of another interview he did. And the lady, even after he shared basically the same concern he had with AI, summoning up the demon, she kind of tongue-in-cheek says something akin to, well, we'll just escape to Mars. And he just flat out didn't miss a beat and said, oh, the AI will find us there very shortly.
Very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think pulpits aren't even talking about this? Do you think they're going to scare their people? I mean, I think this is something to prepare folks for, to warn folks about. And then if we put it in a last days context, it becomes far more meaningful and significant.
Oh, absolutely. To me, again, Bible prophecy, when you share things like this, on the one hand, yeah, it's concerning. I mean, I say all the time, I got a wife, I got 2 kids, I get it, right? And, I'm not looking forward to if we're in the days then genuine persecution comes to America, but we got to deal with reality. We can't stick our head in the sand.
Right.
But for the born-again Christian who's longing for his appearing, which is a healthy scenario,
Yes.
and how it's supposed to be, this information shouldn't scare you. It should excite you. That's all this information should do, is like, wow, if this is the technology, if this is what's going to happen, and find its ultimate fulfillment in the 7-year tribulation, and the rapture happens prior, we don't know the day nor the hour, but man, this is exciting. It's imminent. The rapture, wow, we could be going to be with Jesus. That's the best case scenario.
That's the best case scenario. I've got an article here. New mind-controlled jets mean soldiers can control up to 3 warplanes with a brain implant. A stunning breakthrough in new war weapons has been announced, one which will see soldiers control military planes with their minds. Goes on using sophisticated brain-computer interfaces, soldiers will be able to pilot up to 3 jets at once with just their thoughts. Now, this is creepy, I'm sorry, because this is Star Wars and things like that. I mean, I never thought I'd live to see the day.
Yeah. Well, can I expand on that
Yeah,
one?
please.
That's actually old technology.
I'm sure it
Most
is,
people
because it changes every 30 seconds.
Yeah, and I have. We've interviewed several people, military experts and stuff, and I used to have a rule that anything that they air in the public, like something like that, we're at least 20 years behind the actual technology. After we did one of our documentaries we did on drones and AI.
And I've seen the drones, yes.
And the military guys that we interviewed, and the stories that they shared is just declassified. But just the declassified stories that they shared, my rule changed from we're 20 years behind to a good 30, 40, possibly even 50. Now, let me give you an example. That mind control, and I got first accounts that technology has been around. What was shared with me with someone who was in the Air Force was they were working with a gentleman who he was the actual pilot, and he was flying jets across the United States at unheard of speeds, and but he was doing it with his mind. Jan, that was reported to me, that was back in early 80s.
Okay.
So this has been going on since early 80s, some of the reports that I've got. They're just now starting to release it to the public. And but this actually has paved the way for AI, because AI, they've moved from a human, which they've been doing this for at least 30 years that we know of, that a human can do this with their mind. Well, guess what? How about a supermind doing it? We figured out how to do it with humans. How about we just turn the switch and let AI control it? That's what's happening right now.
Okay, how might this play into a Revelation 13 scenario? And let's explain what Revelation 13 is, and that's the one world system, one world ruler, the coming globalist society, etc. Mark of the beast type issues in Revelation 13. How do you think this plays into that?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious when you understand the technology, and basically that's my two-bang punch, Lord willing, for the message here at the conference, is one, when you take a look back to the military aspect, every piece of military equipment is basically being droned out, unmanned, artificial intelligence controls it all. And I'm talking from jet fighters to submarines, you name it. On top of that, they're creating a Skynet scenario where an AI system, there's a project out there called Project Maven that wants AI basically makes all the decisions on the battlefield. So AI controlling all the military equipment, and then you can get into MAVs, UAVs, UUVs, all these micro area vehicles, robotic animals, armed Terminator robots. I wish I was making it up. I'm not. all that combined to create a scenario where, what's that got to do with the Antichrist? Well, the Antichrist, of course, war. We know he's responsible for some of the wars. The second seal, of course, is the war seal towards the beginning of the 7-year tribulation. Shortly after that, in the fourth seal, it tells us how many people are annihilated just in the first half, just in those judgments.
Yeah.
And it says there, 1/4 of the earth. Current statistics, you're looking about 2 billion people. So how do you annihilate nearly 2 billion people, and dare I say, without nuclear warfare? If you use nuclear warfare, my premise, to take out 2 billion people, you're in a nuclear winter and everything shuts down. But that's not what happens in the 7-year tribulation. You know, he's still working up to the abomination of desolation, the mark of the beast. They're still believing his lies, you know, all the way through.
That's right.
So how do you annihilate, in a very relatively short amount of time, nearly 2 billion, not million, 2 billion people, 1/4 of the planet? Well, when you take a look at that Skynet scenario, the military, there's no place to hide. And you control with AI with somebody behind the scenes like an Antichrist who has his finger on the button. That's exactly what's going on. And then when you look at Revelation 13, that's basically what's going on there. Two things: a micromanaging of the planet with him and the false prophet, the Antichrist, the false prophet, because they give orders. If you don't worship him, you're going to die. Well, that means you got to know where everybody's at on the planet in real time. You got to know what they're doing, what they're saying, what they're believing in real time. And then to give an order, you're dying because you're not worshiping the Antichrist. That's all possible with AI, the Big Brother issue combined with the military issue. They can give an order, they will hunt you down and take you out. So that's one aspect. The other aspect of Revelation 13 is, of course, the mark of the beast. Mark of the beast, a cashless society. He specifically controls what you buy and sell. That's the other half of my message, is showing how artificial intelligence is now being given the reins to control the finances, not just personal. They even wanted to control, believe it or not, the stock market, because it could prevent crashes in theory. It could trade better than, because it's so much smarter than humans, etc. But a cashless society, you think about the scale of a mark of the beast scenario. You have to know where every product, every person, every transaction is in real time on a global scale, because that's what it says there in the text. That's beyond human capability. But if you allowed superhuman intelligence and AI to control the back end of that financial structure, the supply chain, everything, and Jan, that's not coming. That's already here. So just those two aspects of Revelation 13 with AI, it's all possible, just sitting there for the trigger to happen.
You handed me something very interesting,